Hello everyone. I am welcoming you into something that can only be described as an unnecessarily elaborate, extensive, and probably over-eager analysis of everyone's favorite show, The Vampire Diaries. We so often watch and analyze good and successful pieces of media and art, but we can learn so much more from bad or failed attempts at creation, which I'm not saying Vampire Diaries are in their entirety, but probably have some failed aspects of it. So yeah, I thought it'd be interesting. I remember the show being actually good, in the beginning, and then later turning to garbage. So I think it'd also be interesting to find out where and why it went wrong. If there was anything right to begin with, which, God, I hope that there is. I remember being genuinely deeply captivated by this show as a teenager, and I refuse to believe it was only because of that. And even if it was, that doesn't make those experiences any less real and meaningful. Therefore, TVD will always have a place in my heart, no matter how bad they turn out to be. But still, please, dear brain with a frontal lobe developed, don't take away from me the Vampire Diaries as I remember and cherish them. Objectives are to have fun, to put under scrutiny a show I love and defend so much and see how it holds up, also to have an excuse to rewatch it, and to share the joy of it with you all, since I don't have anyone in my close vicinity who is eager to discuss this quite important and relevant topic with me. So, with all that context out of the way, let's watch the Vampire Diaries pilot episode.
For over a century, I have lived in secret.
This bushes right at the beginning, this sent me, like this dolly. I've seen it so many times. This shot is was such a big part of my consciousness for a very long time. Okay, for starters, we have an unknown vampire kill in a very dramatic and genreistic, if that's a word, way. Then we have the Stefan's introduction, where it's implied that he might have killed those two people because he immediately says he's a vampire. Like, this show really doesn't waste your time, that he's a vampire.
Hiding in the shadows. Until now, I am a vampire.
That he's here for Elena, that this is his birth town. So this is quite a good use of film time, as we get this expository monologue right away, and it works. I'm someone who is a fast-paced enjoyer, and the vibe is like, let's keep going, and I remember it will stay this way. So that's great.
Dear Diary, today will be different.
Then we have Elena's voiceover. I really love a good use of a voiceover. When the voiceover is used smartly, it can do really good stuff.
I know the risk.
And it really adds to this space. I remember later on that they ditched that, which is quite a shame. But yeah, we have Elena's voiceover, which immediately I might be overthinking this. But her character introduction is all about her wanting to fake that she's alright when she's not really.
I will smile, and it will be believable. My smile will say, I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, I feel much better.
Like, there is a finite amount of time in which you're allowed to mourn your parents, and anything more than that is socially unacceptable. Which, you know what? It's actually like that in real life as well, so that's actually realistic. But I would hope that this girl has some friends that she can be herself around and not have to fake that she's alright, because she's not.
I will no longer be the sad little girl who lost her parents. I will start fresh. Be someone new.
The thing is, Elena, in first few seasons, or I don't know for how long, has this arc where she lost her parents and she really wants to go back to her old self, which feels like such a wrong character arc, because it's really hard to imagine that she would lose both of her parents at the age of, I don't know, like 16, 17, I don't know how old she is here, and not get affected by this experience. Like, I'd imagine the experience would give her some depth, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I'd imagine the goal is to integrate this experience and evolve from that. But maybe I'm just being too strict with this show.
Toast. I can make toast.
It's all about the coffee, Aunt Jenna.
Then we have Aunt Jenna, their legal guardian, and she's proud of the fact that she can make a toast, implying she is so not ready for this whole legal guardian thing she ended up with in her hands, which makes the next sentence where she says out loud,
First day of school and I'm totally unprepared.
really unnecessary.
Lunch money?
But maybe we shouldn't analyze in this much detail,
A number two
because
pencil?
we're never gonna be done. Another character portrayal, Elena, caring, asking her brother, Jeremy, how are you? And him, troubled teenager, saying, don't start.
It was like a bird or something. It came out of nowhere. Really, I can't be freaked out by cars for the rest of my life.
Elena saying she can't be freaked out by cars for the rest of her life is just being really hard on herself, given the fact that her parents died this summer, and this is like autumn, I suppose, in school is starting. Like, somebody needs to tell this girl to be more gentle with herself. Elena and Bonnie, her best friend, do seem to have a really warm and loving relationship, which I really like, and I think the actresses have a great chemistry together. So I suppose Elena has one friend that she can be sad around. Even though she, in this scene, apologizes as well for like drifting off.
Sorry, Bonnie.
And Bonnie is like,
Elena! Back in the car?
maybe give this girl some break and some time to process.
Elena, oh my god, how are you?
Okay, and then we have Caroline. You guys, I love Caroline so much.
How is she? Is she good?
Caroline, I'm right here.
Tell me if you've ever seen a more Libra woman in your life.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Really?
Yes, much better.
Oh, you poor thing.
Okay, Caroline.
Caroline is not like acting the best towards her friend, but I totally forgive that, because here it's so obvious that she's not like doing that on purpose, pitying Elena because she wants to be mean. She just doesn't know any better. Maybe right now her understanding of emotional depths is not the biggest. As a classic Libra, this is also such a classic Libra behavior, and I think this is with best intent in her heart, so it's all forgiven in my book. As you can see, I'm just like making hot takes about astrology, but if there are any serious astrologers watching this, please contact me and let me know what are your takes on the charts of these characters. I mean, also people who are not astrologers, but if you are especially.
Take more than 2 in a 6-hour window. Hey, Vic. I knew I'd find you here with the crackheads.
Some other characters introduced, Vicky and Tyler. Jeremy is a dealer. Yeah, this episode for now, for what it is not that bad. I mean, we're only into 7 minutes. Okay, let's keep watching.
And we do insist on transcripts.
Please look again. I'm sure everything you need is there.
Stefan's motivation to come back to Mystic Falls feels in place, actually. It's this pure curiosity to go back to a place that holds so much significance. in a life that's eternal. It makes sense.
Well, you're right. So it is.
I'm sensing Seattle. And he plays the guitar.
You're really gonna run this whole psychic thing into the ground, huh?
Pretty much.
They're so cute. Bunny's so cute.
I'll be right back.
Sit down, chick.
Great. It's the first day of school and you're stoned.
We have again the motive of Elena being worried about Jeremy, him being an annoyed little
I
teenager.
know who you are. And it's not this person. So don't be this person.
His coping mechanism is drugs. Elena's is, I guess, suppressing the reality of the whole experience, trying to pretend everything's the way it was before.
You need to chill yourself, all right?
Chill myself? What is that, stoner talk? Dude, you were so cool.
Stop, I don't have anything on you.
For the quality and persuasiveness of this dialogue, I must say these actors are absolutely killing it. They're really doing their fucking best. Like, they're making it surprisingly not cringe for what has been written as script. The cast is solid here. This is one of the things with the Vampire Diaries. I remember this, like, not everyone. I remember some exceptions to that rule, but mostly everyone is doing a great job with what's given to them. It's interesting how the show avoids the face reveal with Stefan. Like, they're intentionally postponing the reveal of his face.
Pardon me.
And by interesting, I mean ridiculous.
Is this the men's room?
He's serving face.
Yes, I was just, it's a long story. Thank you.
Now, I don't know if this is just me, but I never got into Stefan and Elena. I'm saying this like I'm in the court. Yeah, I mean, sorry. We'll get back to this to save something for the later episodes. But just to open the topic, I think we can speak about various reasons why that is, some of which subjective, of course. I think the scripting around Damon and Elena was always so much more interesting and exciting and unpredictable. At least in the first few seasons, it was in service of their chemistry and plot, making the already present chemistry between them more pronounced, while with Stefan, that's not the case. With Stefan, we'll see. We'll see. I'm speaking from memory, so this time around it might be different. I did form these opinions when I was 11, so, you know. And obviously I'm thinking about what I would like to see in a fictional show, what emotions and stories I would like to experience, not about reality.
Virginia's northwest region had different ideas from those of the traditional Deep South, and Virginia divided in 1863
I will research this. I remember I heard that Paul and Nina, the actors, didn't like each other when they were on the set, so maybe it's that. After school, every cool girl goes to the graveyard. No, I like this. I like this for her. I love that she's this contemplative graveyard girl.
I must have said, I'm fine. Thanks. At least 37 times.
What I do value about these earlier seasons, maybe this is not as obvious in the pilot, but I remember it will become obvious fairly soon, and that's that they were trying. Like, they were trying to be creative. Like, it might not have been always the best choice or the most ingenious ideas, but I really like the whole diary thing and the voiceover. I respect it. I respect more a bad attempt at something than no attempt at all.
Okay. Hi, bird.
Because later on, I think they just altogether quit even trying to penetrate any of these characters further or like even explore what these characters could be. They just played it safe, like television, cheap, safe. It actually ended up worse and more boring and more tasteless than whatever this is. Even if it's not the most consistent, I mean, optimally it would be. This just confirms what I just said, like, here I'm afraid that they were just trying to create a mysterious, ominous atmosphere by all means, so they went down the usual checklist: fog, black animals, graveyard, and this is not trying very hard, this is non-imaginative. Hence the later controlling the animals confusion and why they didn't know what to do with it. They just made it up on the spot and it had a very functional and immediate purpose only. The confusion being Damon, I mean, being able to control the animals, and Atmospherelia. What is it? Is it like compelling the particles? What's going on?
Okay?
Paul Wesley is solid.
It's a family ring. Yeah. Kind of stuck with it. It's weird, huh?
The chemistry is not, however...
I'm sorry. It's a fog. It's making me foggy. And then...
But what really doesn't help, and this happens with cheap drama a lot, is the music.
No, it's just, I mean, there are rings and there's that.
Trying to co-write what the dialogue doesn't manage to, but even if it did, which it doesn't here, it's really tasteless to double down on the same emotion with the music. That's basically them being transparent in their desperation, saying, please, dear audience, feel this tenderness, feel romantic now, this scene is romantic, like the fake clap. I don't know if this trick ever genuinely works, it just makes everything worse, literally. I would advise on the producers and showrunners to stop pushing it, because I somehow feel it's them that they're pushing it, not the actual artists or editors. That's also something this show does a lot, and I swear it makes bad scenes worse, but what's worse, potentially good scenes bad and tasteless.
Do you hurt yourself? Everything I've kept buried inside.
Stefan is writing his diary. We have a very brief scene.
I'm simply not able to resist her.
Oh, no. You know what I said about Stefan's motivations earlier, about coming to the Mystic Falls again? Or I take it back. He cannot resist her. He just met her. Which suggests he just completely objectifies her for what she looks like, and his attraction for her is not very deep at all, since she's just a replica of Catherine. He's seeing her as a doppelganger, as this concept, rather than an individual person, a remnants of something else. And here we haven't even started yet, and that's already a very shaky foundation to put Stefan and Elena's relationship on. The relationship of a century, and the whole show is based on it. This doesn't feel like right. I mean, I know with the later seasons that they are this cosmic pair that always ends up together lifetime after lifetime, so that might explain it. But since that happens very later on, and we as audience live in the current reality of this storyline, all that we know is that he cannot resist her based on, like, they have exchanged 3 words.
Is this the men's room?
I mean, okay, I guess it's love at the first sight. Maybe I'm just like expecting too much, but I don't know. This doesn't feel like I'm all in for romantic, hopeless romantic plot points and rom-coms and all, but we need basic level of good writing here. Like, we need to make it better, just like the bare minimum. From this, I don't believe in this connection. But okay, this may change. We are only just starting.
Thanks, Vic.
Do you need another refill?
I love you. Please tell me you're not hooking up with my sister. I'm not hooking up with your sister.
That's funny.
You're such a dick.
Hey, what's your deal? I mean, summer you act one way and then school starts and you can't be bothered.
Look, Jeremy, I really appreciate all the pharmaceuticals, but you can't keep following me around like a lost puppy.
When's the last time you had sex with a puppy?
Keep it down. I don't want to tell the whole world I deflowered Elena's kid brother.
We all do enjoy some good old expository dialogue that prioritizes delivering information over the natural flaw of a character interaction.
Flowered and deflowered.
We hooked up a few times in a drug haze. It's over.
Or commonly known as the As You Know Bob.
Like a lost puppy.
When's the last time you had sex with a puppy?
Keep it down. I don't want to tell the whole world I deflowered Elena's kid brother.
And deflowered and deflowered.
We hooked up a few times in a drug haze. It's over.
And so on and so
I want
on.
to back off before you ruin things between me and Tyler.
Come on, the guy's a total douche. He only wants you for your ass.
Yeah? What do you want me for?
This is a good line.
His name is Stefan Salvatore. He lives with his uncle up at the old Salvatore boarding house. He hasn't lived here since he was a kid. Military family, so they moved around a lot. He's a Gemini, and his favorite color is blue.
That's way better. The only sus thing with this exposition though is that Stefan is a Gemini. We can come back to this, but no, I don't know if they genuinely believe that for him or just put a random sign in there to portray Caroline as a silly girl who believes in astrology, in which case rude both to Caroline and the astrology.
Oh.
Sorry, I was about to knock. I wanted to apologize for my disappearing act earlier. I know it was strange.
No worries. I must have dropped it. Thank you.
Don't worry, I didn't read it.
No? Why not? Most people would have.
I wouldn't want anyone to read mine.
You keep a journal.
Girls, when guys show a basic level of introspection.
Memories are too important.
Y'all guys saying they had chemistry, like, show me where. This is a pilot. They had 3 scenes together. I am being too strict. I'm aware of this. Planting the can't come in until invited.
I'm fine. Sorry, were you going somewhere?
But this dialogue is overall better and felt more natural.
Do you want to come?
Okay, I researched it and I was wrong. They did dislike each other. Only people say it got translated as this slow burning love. Here's an interesting thing Nina said about being in love with someone you dislike.
This is a fun little fact that I don't know if no, we've kind of talked about it. Paul and I didn't get along at the beginning of the show. I respected Paul Wesley. I didn't like Paul Wesley. And I remember everyone would walk up to me after the show aired and they'd be like, "Are you and Paul dating in real life?" Because everyone thought that we had such good chemistry from the show. But I realize now that there's a fine line between love and hate, and we despise each other so much that it read as love, but it was like burning like we really just didn't get along at the first maybe 5 months of shooting.
No, it wasn't passionate.
Most of the time, love interests in films and TV really don't get along, and that ends up breeding as really intense chemistry.
You're right, it's
Yeah, no, it's nothing.
Okay, it just goes on to show how subjective these things are.
Sorry, were you going somewhere?
But yeah, that might be part of the reason why I don't see this chemistry.
Do you want to come?
I feel weird calling her. She broke up with me.
Give it more time, Matt.
More time, huh?
Like, it's obvious without them having him say.
More time, huh?
Oh, this scene. Oh, God.
My parents passed away.
I'm sorry.
So, Stefan, if you're new, then you don't know about
This
the
is
party
just
tomorrow.
some small talk. This is fine. They still have zero chemistry. I'm waiting.
You promised.
Is he Uncle Ben? I don't know if he's... I'm gonna call him Uncle Ben. If he's not Uncle Ben, I apologize.
You said you had it under control.
And I do.
Please, Uncle Stefan.
I love that it's Stefan who is Ben's uncle, because he's probably Stefan's descendant. I mean, that only makes sense, but I at first just accepted he's Stefan's uncle. I don't know. I was surprised by this. I just completely believed Stefan's story. I was like, yep, that's your uncle. But this also illustrates on a very silly little example how much power the character and the narrator have over you. They're the ones that have the authority. And we as audience are just listening to them, surrendering to their story. So we do tend to believe in whatever they tell us. I mean, this is just a very stupid and minor example of this, but it's interesting to notice.
I can't tell you what to do. But coming back here was a mistake.
Uncle or not, his acting is... You know what also has to be said, but really, that this is, at the end of the day, teen drama television, and to some of its cheapness, we have to surrender to. If you're not going to, then there is no point, and for sure no way for you to enjoy any of it, which I still want to believe that there is. So I just want to say, I'll be commenting on the show, but within that paradigm. Otherwise, we could say that everything could be better, writing could be better, drama speech could be different, characters could be deeper, and so on, but then it wouldn't be what it is. As Jenny Nicholson famously put it, a teen show about dating hot vampires mostly. No, that's reductive, but you know. So an agreement is that we're just gonna bite it, and I'm not gonna comment every single time I get thrown out of this immersion just because it's television language. Okay, now, Mr. Tanner.
Took place right at the end of the war in our very own Mystic Falls. How many casualties resulted in this battle? Miss Bennett.
A lot. I'm not sure, but a whole lot.
Cute becomes dumb in an instant, Miss Bennett.
I don't know if I believe this. Yes, professors are sometimes douchebags, but insulting students on a personal note...
I'm cool with it.
Elena, surely you can enlighten us about one of the town's most significantly historical events?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I was willing to be lenient last year for obvious reasons, Elena. But the personal excuses ended with summer break.
And then especially Elena, it's honestly wild to reduce teenagers' loss of her parents to personal excuse. Monster! Besides that, nobody knew the answer.
The Founders Archives are
So
stored
back
in
to shitting on Stefan. I'm sorry. I don't know. My dislike for him, or this chronic deficit of any stronger emotions or impressions towards him and his character, it might be due to this forced, tortured, expressionless non-expression he always serves. My empathetic apparatus doesn't recognize this emotion. But maybe that's on purpose, so the audience can project their own fantasies onto him and onto this relationship, which is legitimate.
Pretty. He has that romance novel stare.
Sure, we can call it that.
To her eyes, piercing her very soul.
Oh my god.
Never mind, you're here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so tasteless for now. Like this whole relationship and his character. Not as in bad flavor, just no flavor.
What?
That was weird. When I touched you, I saw a crow.
I'm drunk. It's the drinking. It's nothing psychic about it. Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna get a refill.
You know, I definitely would try harder in letting my best friend know she's actually psychic, you know, and that her first vision ever was accurate and all, but okay. Okay, look, I don't know if being Team Delena for so long or just in my formative years brainwashed me so hard that now I cannot even see Stefan in his true light and give him an honest chance. If so, I apologize. For now, he is the most neutral character in the history of television, you have to admit it. Or if not, let me know what I'm missing. I would really love to know.
It's not exactly party chit-chat.
Well, I've never really been very good at chit-chat.
Yeah, he's above the small talk. What a deep guy he is. I cannot with this guy. I don't know, I just don't fuck with him. I really don't. But also I remember later, he really shat on everything he presented in these early seasons. Or rather CW shat and later just butchered his character. Like many others, but that fun is for later. But okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have so much patience with anything in this show, really. I will be patient and wait for everybody and everything to get better.
I was in the back seat and I survived, but they didn't.
So Elena suffers survivor's guilt. This is one of the main characteristics she has.
No. Ty, I'm not having sex against a tree.
Come on, it'll be hot.
For who? Not gonna happen. Now that you're
Like
not
the
with
fact that everybody forgets about this later on.
No! Ow! That hurt!
Hey, leave her alone!
What? Like, what do they expect me to do now? Like, to take Tyler as an equal character?
Wow. Vicky Donovan says no. That's a first.
At least Tyler is realistic.
I didn't need your help.
Seems like you did.
He was just drunk.
I'm drunk. Am I throwing myself at you?
No, you're worse. You want to talk to me, get to know me, see into my soul, and screw and screw and screw until you're done with me.
Vicky, who hurt you?
What do you think?
That's what I know.
I mean, who hurt her? Sounds like men hurt her. What they're trying to do here is probably portray Vicky as someone who generally has really low self-esteem or sense of self-worth. So that's why she's picking Tyler and always finding excuses for his unexcusable behaviors, which is not as bad of a character portrayal. The only thing that doesn't make sense here is that Vicky and Matt are siblings. Like, I'm supposed to believe that? I don't believe that. Because Matt is like the most stable, non-mentally ill collected character in the show. No way they had the same childhood, the same upbringing. Something else must be going on here. I mean, besides the fact that she's a female child.
Anyway, Matt and I, together, we just... I don't know, it wasn't, It wasn't...
Passionate.
No. No, it wasn't passionate.
And this is...
Hey, are you okay?
He's a vampire, he's not okay.
Oh,
I feel like the editing makes this 10 times worse than it needs to be. I mean, no,
It wasn't...
the writing is...
passionate.
The conception of the whole scene is wrong, but I feel like the editing really makes everything worse.
When you broke up with me, you said it was because you needed some time alone. You don't look so alone to me.
Matt, you don't understand.
This is actually quite good, I think, since it captures a real-life paradox, where people think they might need something or have their own ideas about why the relationship is not working, only to find out with another person that they're not bothered with that stuff at all. It was just not the right person. So every Matt scene in this episode's about that, him getting to terms with that. It wasn't for the bad timing or the external circumstances, but because they aren't meant for each other. But the fact that Matt almost immediately says,
That's okay, Elena. You do what you have to do.
makes him such a legend. See, this is the collectedness I'm talking about. This is a secure attachment type. This guy was raised in a safe and nurturing environment. He does say he's still believing in them, but while leaving Elena some space.
Hey, there you are. Have you been down to the falls yet? Because they are really cool at night. I can show you if you want.
Then Stefan blows off Caroline, which makes a lot of sense.
Caroline, you and me, it's not gonna happen.
I've never seen seasons above 4th, but I do know what happens, and I'm really skeptic how they made this work. And I feel like by saying they made it work, that's crazily optimistic from my side. But what I'm saying, at least for now, it makes sense. And whatever happens later, I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Sorry.
I love Caroline. Please, let's not punish Caroline by making her date Stefan. Like, why am I the biggest Stefan hater? This needs to stop.
Jeremy, where the hell are you going?
I don't want to hear it.
Oh my god.
Nice cut.
Vicky, what the hell? What happened? Bonnie, call an ambulance! Everybody back up, give her some space!
Oh no, there goes the camera. Stefan.
Damon.
This look on Stefan's face, like, what is this? It's a very special look. I can't remember in which situation one has this, but it's not in this situation. Damon. But, Damon. Where to start with Damon?
Hello, brother.
I think they really over-cliched his character introduction.
Crow's a bit much, don't you think?
Wait till you see what I can do with the fog.
The acting seems off in general, not just because later on Damon doesn't really act like this as a character that develops script-wise, but also I feel like Ian literally does Damon differently later, like his interpretation of Damon changes. But that's fine, I guess. He's just starting out, hasn't gotten into the role yet. Nor have the writers, truth be told, figured out the role.
I miss my little brother.
You hate small towns. It's boring. There's nothing for you to do.
I've managed to keep myself busy.
The show heavily relies on the fact he's hot, which could be said for all of the characters.
You know, you left that girl alive tonight. It's very clumsy of you.
That could be a problem.
For you.
He's snarky, sarcastic, and a psychopath. But the show makes it look charming because he's hot. As a mental exercise, let's just imagine he wasn't.
I know what you're doing, Damon. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, come on. Don't you crave a little?
Stop it.
Let's do it. Together.
I saw a couple girls out there.
Or let's just cut to the chase. Let's just go straight for Elena. Stop it! Imagine what her blood tastes like.
I assure you, he'd be the most hated character in the show. Let's be honest here. I mean, later on, Damon does get more depth as a character, if I'm to trust my memory of this show, which is questionable. And he does become very lovable. But as it is for now, and this introduction, it can all be reduced to a common denominator of him just being a hot villain.
Your hair's different. I like it.
It's been 15 years, Damon.
Thank God. Couldn't take another day of the 90s. That horrible grunge look did not suit you.
Okay, he's also funny and charming, but if he was funny and ugly, he'd just be annoying, so my point remains. Which is very unfortunate, but that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, not to pretend I'm above all that here, I do like Damon, but mostly because I know what follows.
Why are you here now?
For what we know now, his sole purpose is to torment Stefan, which immediately gives Damon an edge, and the backstory, or an implication of a backstory, since, you know, it's probably not without rhyme or reason.
Damon, please. After all these years, can't we just give it a rest?
I promised you an eternity of misery, so I'm just keeping my word.
Just stay away from Elena.
Where's your ring? Oh, yeah, the sun's coming up in a couple hours, and poof, ashes to ashes.
And since his motivations for this are entirely unbeknown, he's very unpredictable, which makes him a great villain, right? And fun to watch.
You should know better than to think you're stronger than me. I think we woke Zach up.
Oh, it's Zach. But then who is Uncle Ben?
Is it working, Steph?
Yeah, this is actually some well-written dialogue.
Does it make you feel alive?
She's not, Catherine.
Well, let's hope not. We both know how that ended.
It is expository, but not unnatural. It does not over-explain and leaves some things only implied. Amazing.
We're gonna go mainline coffee and wait for news.
Now, this conversation between Bonnie and Elena, like, it has some sort of a momentum. I like this moment very much. Like, she comes like,
Elena, there's no way I'm psychic.
I know that.
I know that.
No, it's there is something about it. Like the phrasing and the camera work, it hits the spot.
But whatever I saw, or I think I saw, I have this feeling. Bonnie, what? That it's just the beginning.
It's a bit cringe, but it's also a bit, I did get chills. I'm here for it. Without the Bonnie what?
Bonnie, what?
Then
You okay?
this blind leading a blind convo.
People are gonna stop giving you breaks, Jer. They just don't care anymore. They don't remember that our parents are dead because they've got their own lives to deal with. The rest of the world has moved on. You should try too.
I mean, I know TVD is not about that, but it's really sad to see how we as a society treat troubled individuals and how it's up to them to just pull themselves together, and not even a death of both of your parents secures you with enough sympathy from the environment for being obviously mentally unwell.
I've seen you in the cemetery writing in your diary. Is that supposed to be you moving on?
I'm positive this show is intentionally pointing to these societal issues.
Are you sober yet? No. Keep drinking. I gotta get you home.
Then we have Caroline and Bonnie having a
Why didn't he go for me?
conversation.
You know, how come the guys that I want never want me?
I'm not touching that.
Why is she not touching it though? Aren't they friends?
I'm inappropriate. I always say the wrong thing. And Elena always says the right thing.
Debatable. Here, the motif of Caroline's jealousy towards Elena is presented. I don't know if they do anything with that later.
And he just picks her. And she's always the one that everyone picks for everything. And I try so hard, and I'm never the one.
I feel Caroline here, she wants to be something else. She's not appreciated for what she is. Although I don't know about the try hard part since we didn't really see her trying hard. So it's a loaded presumption.
I'm never the one.
Yeah, she feels like she's in Elena's shadow. I sure have sympathy for this.
It's not a competition, Caroline.
Yeah, it is.
This is unnecessary. But I mean, I don't know why they try to make her this like really shallow, petty, almost mean girl type of character that thinks everything in life is a competition. I don't know, I find it cheap. I feel like this line trivializes an otherwise relatable complex.
Yeah, it is.
And I bet she doesn't really mean that. Me on my way to defend Caroline at all costs.
Dear Diary, I couldn't have been more wrong. I thought that I could smile and nod my way through it.
Then again, we have Elena battling with the concepts of societal expectations. Her and Stefan, they're so pathetic.
I had a plan. I wanted to change who I was.
Oh my god, no.
Create a life as someone new.
Later it gets better, right, guys?
Someone without the past.
Right, guys?
Without the pain.
Someone alive.
See, this is what I appreciate even when it's a mess. Because at least they try to be creative and innovative.
But it's not that easy. The bad things stay with you.
They follow you.
Is there like a hidden message here? I mean, not a hidden message. Is there like a message here? You have to embrace the past. You cannot run away from your past. The past becomes a part of you. Yeah, I like this message. So this is a full arc for Elena. I like that they decide to tie all the scenes in a joint sequence. It creates an illusion of coherence. When what we've just witnessed is a mess.
You can't escape them.
In the least.
As much as you want to.
You know what this is? Like this show, this is director saying to Candace, pretend you don't see him, pretend you don't see him, and then you see him. Like they didn't let the scene roll from the beginning or from the half so that the actors can get into it. They started from exactly where she sees him, moments before. She's looking around, looking everywhere, just not to look at him. She's like, and then the director claps and she's like, oh. Because it's such an unnatural look up. Damon looks like he just got out of shower and shampoo went into his eyes or something like that. I don't know what this is. Everything is so off in this pilot. This is...
All you can do is be ready for the good. So when it comes...
Now I feel like they're stretching it. It should have ended here. There was a perfect musical ending. Damon looked at Caroline. It's good.
All you can do is be ready for
But then the music continues and Elena's voiceover continues and it's more creative idea they had. It's really milking it to the end.
I need it.
I will be your guardian when all is crumbling.
I know it's late, but I needed to know that you were okay.
You know, for months, that's all anyone's wondered about me.
This conversation is so
I'll
weird
be okay.
and so poorly written. So...
What do you tell them?
But I'll be fine.
Do you ever mean it?
It's not working. It's some of these things, they're so bad. It's really hard to overlook, even when you try.
Ask me tomorrow.
Paul's eyes are watery. Like they're really trying to double down on the emotions. Like they're really trying, but it's so without
Would you like to come in?
basis.
Yes.
So yeah, conclusion. What is the conclusion? All in all, it's a solid pilot. I feel like this commentary was like 80% of the time me critiquing, and then 20% of the time saying it's not that bad. But it is a solid pilot, right? Wait, let me stay consistent. How I feel about watching this? It's okay. It's well paced. It efficiently sets up a lot.
I'm Elena.
I'm Stefan.
I was in the back seat and I survived, but
You won't be sad forever, Elena.
Immediately establishes tension.
Someone else was attacked tonight, Zach, and it wasn't me.
Actors are a positive surprise.
There's no way I'm psychic. I know that. But whatever I saw, or I think I saw, I have this feeling.
Energy is cringeworthy at times, but also not criminally so.
That it's just the beginning.
And probably most importantly, if you like supernatural, romance, melodrama, it delivers on that. It executes the formula.
I know it's late, but I needed to know that you were okay.
I think it introduces the characters solidly. Only Caroline was portrayed as this popular, tactless, mean girl, which I'm really happy she's later not. They really did their worst with Tyler. All characters feel extremely one-dimensional. Everybody has exactly one, in the brackets, one character trait. Jenna is cool and chill. Elena is good and different, although we don't know what for, but Caroline says she's something else, so we should trust Caroline that she is. Damon is a bad boy, Stefan is a good boy, Jeremy is a troubled boy, Tyler is a dumb boy, Tyler is a stupid boy, Caroline is a stupid blonde and shallow, let's not forget. Bonnie is a good friend, and so on and so on. I'm sure you can guess the rest of this list for everyone. Like in elementary school when you have to write the characterization after reading, so you write good, bad, loyal, and sad. These are the characteristics. So Helena is good. Some things, however, cannot be turned a blind eye to, even for CW style drama and cheap-ish entertainment. My conclusion is that for that, it happens to be, I've learned this today, you still need a basic level of good writing and storytelling skills, unfortunately. And regarding that, TVD, it's a mess. Creative mess for now, but a mess. Hastily written. It feels like they mainly went with first thought ideas, with whatever first came to mind. They're leaving so many courses open, so obviously, so that they can get themselves out of narrative dead ends later. And hand in hand with that, it's noticeable that they don't have a premeditated direction, not with the story, nor with the characters, nor with the relationships between the characters, maybe only broad strokes, which it's not the best. It's like they couldn't have been bothered with a second draft, or like more holistic draft that takes everything in mind, maybe even some following episodes, what do you know, that might be an overkill. I didn't expect much, but I'm still somehow disappointed. All in all, it was a bit underwhelming. Wait, should I give it a grade? I give it 5 out of 10. And I'm strict, right? So it is passing. But to be more specific, let's do categories. Okay, the most generous grade goes to entertainment. It's fun. I had fun. That's definitely the strong suit of this show. A bit less generous, I'm going to be with the craftsmanship, and here I mean the filmmaking artistry, so directing, editing, acting, camera work, the execution. It's a 5. It's professional, skillful, that's obvious, but nothing too remarkable. Now, the story, I figure, deserves a separate category, since it is the backbone to everything else, right? And in this case, it's not. It's more so that everything else masks or strives to mask the lack thereof. 4. Just to be clear, this is the how, this is the what. To be clearer for myself. Although I think directing and editing can be the what in itself, but not in this case anyway. Needless to say, it's also shamelessly derivative of Twilight. I wouldn't know where to even start naming the similarities and all the theft.
That's Edward Cullen.
His name is Stefan Salvatore. He lives with his uncle up at the old Salvatore boarding house.
He moved down here from Alaska like a few years ago.
Your eyes were black the last time I saw you in the... Like...
Yes, I was just,
Yeah, I know. It's the fluorescence.
Is this the men's room?
Which actually does leave us with the general 5. No mistake. And congratulations! You made it through to the end of these... I don't know how many minutes, oh god. Okay, you guys, that's it. Rapid ending. I truly can't thank enough those of you that watched through this whole thing. This is the first video I ever made for YouTube. I love you and I owe you. I hope our paths cross again. You know how to make that happen. Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. Although it might not seem so, this video took a lot of time and effort to make. Shocking, I know. And if you could help me make more of them through the 4 insinuated means or through literal means, that'd be so crazy and beautiful. But if you can't and just want to stick around, that's also so crazy and beautiful. And I'm sending you all hugs and kisses, truly, from my heart to yours. Thank you. And goodbye. For now.